I would say I didn't have much of a choice because of the situation that I was in. Whereas my mother had died, and I was 17, so I was trying to avoid foster care, and I had actually been through online homeschooling in the past, but then I went back to regular school because I found that I just wasn't able, without a parent that was really like on my shoulder, having me do the homework and trying to push me, is my attention was always towards the business. Because before I even dropped out of school, I still had this business, and I was still even going to regular high school while trying to run this business. But eventually, when I was trying to avoid foster care, and prior to her death, she actually allowed me to go back to online homeschooling, where you have less accountability than you would obviously have in a regular high school. So I was able to just go that route, and then just kind of stop doing my work. I don't think it was a single decision that, okay, I'm going to stop doing my work this day. But it was in part because I also knew if I actually went back to high school, I'd probably have been easily put into foster care.
Okay.
But in terms of that, I didn't miss school, because even when I was going to school, earlier I had A's and B's. I still had a lot of trouble fitting in, but I was able to maintain a certain level. And this is prior to starting the business. But after I started the business is really where I put all my attention and focus. Really, it changed my priorities. And so at that point, I started caring less about school and more about the business. It was always about the business. And in that respect, I wasn't able to balance this home work versus school life. And it was something where I just decided to start doing the business. And the things I learned differently is the way that you learn things in school. You don't really remember most of what you actually end up learning, because you end up not you never have to recall it, you never have to apply it. And one of the interesting things I found when I was running this business is I did not know programming. I did not know anything about business or marketing or SEO, none of that stuff. But all of that stuff were things that I learned over time, because I needed to learn those skills in order to achieve this particular goal or vision that I had. And when I'm running the business, everything, my passion, it's effectively like my hobby. And if you love sports, if you love football or soccer, you end up spending a lot of time in those arenas, and you can watch a video about how to kick a ball, but in reality, you have to learn it by kicking the ball. And most of what I ended up learning about business was in practical sense, when I needed to learn about it. And I would give you an example: is I had to write a press release because I saw other businesses, and this was 10 years ago, were still writing press releases, and I saw that's probably what I should do. So I looked at an example of a press release, and then I saw the exact structure of, okay, they introduce the company at the very beginning, they have a quote from the owner, and so I was able to create my own press release that got syndicated and shared on a multitude of websites. And I didn't take a course on how to write a press release. I didn't go to marketing school, and all of that knowledge I was able to retain and then use almost immediately. And even when I had to learn how to design a website, I didn't go to a class and learning how to take HTML and CSS. And honestly, I've taken those classes, and I honestly don't remember much of what I actually even learned. But all the little tiny things that I needed to learn while I was building the website, I went out and I Googled those, right? I looked on YouTube. I was able to find that knowledge and then immediately apply it. And in most of the circumstances, when you're running the business, you end up having to reapply that knowledge and add on to it. So you end up retaining that knowledge much more in a solid fashion than you do simply by cramming everything into your head, trying to remember, what the answers are to a specific question on a test, and then you instantly dump and you never recall the information again. So in terms of remembering information, that also comes back to active recall, where you're actually learning the information, but then immediately applying it.